This video is brought to you by Sayorite. In this video, we're going to show you the easiest way to make an envelope throw pillow. An envelope pillow is made with an opening in the back side so the insert can easily be inserted. Instead of making multiple plates, in this video, we're going to show you how to make it using a single plate. We'll be cutting our fabric to size for a 16-inch by 16-inch throw pillow. This template has been cut to the appropriate size. Let's discuss the calculations for the size of your particular throw pillow. To achieve a more professional look, the pillow cover should be smaller than the pillow insert. In this video, we're using a 16-inch by 16-inch pillow insert, which means we want our cover to be approximately 15 inches by 15 inches when complete. Instead of cutting plates, we're using a continuous piece of fabric that'll wrap around the pillow form. Take the pillow insert's measurements and use this formula to determine the size of the fabric blank which will be used to make the throw pillow cover. Our pillow insert is 16 inches square, so we will take the 16 times 2 and add 9 inches. This will be the length, and we'll use 16 inches for the height of the pillow. When it's all sewn together, it'll be approximately 15 inches square. If the fabric choice has stripes, make sure they run along the longest length of the fabric. We're creating a rectangle that is 16 inches by 41 inches for our 16-inch square throw pillow. We've traced around the perimeter with a pencil on the fabric of our choice. Now we're going to place glass on the underside of this synthetic fabric, and we're going to use the Sayorite Edge hot knife to seal the edges as we cut the fabric out. If you don't use a hot knife like this, you'll typically get a lot of unraveling of the fabric along the edges if you use just shears. You could use pinking shears, but we recommend using a hot knife whenever you use a synthetic fabric. If you've chosen a cotton fabric, we recommend serging the edges of the fabric or using the pinking shears. Here we're trimming the selvage edge of the fabric. The Sayorite Edge hot knife heats up in a few seconds and cools down in approximately a minute. It's a great professional hot knife. Now on the two short edges of the fabric, we need to create a single hem. We're going to use the double-sided tape, which helps hold our hem in place so we can take it to the sewing machine and sew it. If you don't have the double-sided tape, you can use pins to pin the hem in place. Some people prefer a double hem. A single hem is fine as long as the fabric has been cut so it will not unravel. As you can see in the video, we're creating approximately a half-inch hem on this short side. Then we'll turn the fabric around and create that same hem on the opposite short end of the fabric. Please notice that we're working with the underside of the fabric facing up. We'll be using the Sayorite LS1 sewing machine. This is a walking foot sewing machine, and we place the deluxe magnetic guide on the bed of the sewing machine. It's used like a fence on a table saw. It helps to guide our fabric in straight. We positioned it approximately a 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric. We did some reversing at the beginning to lock our stitch in place, and we sewed down the length of that hem on the short side here, and we'll also do it to the other short side on the other end. Reverse at the beginning, and also remember to reverse at the end to lock your stitch in place. Fold the material so the outside surfaces are facing each other. Insert a yardstick inside the fold and measure up to 12 inches. Do that on both ends of the pillow so that it's uniformly folded. Next, we'll take the yardstick and lay it alongside the pillow cover. Fold the opposite side so that it equals 15.5 inches. At those folds, we'll not be sewing. That's why it's 15.5 inches. Where we cut it with a hot knife, we'll be sewing approximately a 1/4 inch in. That's why that measures larger at 16 inches. For larger pillow covers, the placement of the folds will vary. The goal is to try to keep the hemmed edge of the fabric at least 4 to 5 inches away from the folds on both ends. And as always, since we are creating folds along the two sides, the measurements from fold to fold should be about a 1/2 inch smaller than the opposing sides, which we'll be sewing. To hold everything in place, we're going to be using pins. So we're going to pin through the hem. We'll push the pin through this hem, through the underside of the fabric, and out through the top side of the fabric again. We'll do that at the hem here that's underneath the fabric as well, poking through that hem on the underside and then through the top fabric. Now we want to make sure the hem is laying flat by rubbing our hand all the way to the other end, and we want to poke a pin through there as well. It's a good idea to keep the pin approximately an inch from the raw edge of the fabric, because that's where we'll be sewing. You don't have to pull the pin out if you do that. Here at the underside where that hem is hidden, we'll pull it so that it's taut and pin it in place as well, approximately an inch from the raw edge of the fabric, going through the bottom fabric and the top fabric. Next, we'll take it to the sewing machine and sew the raw edges shut. We'll be sure to reverse at each one of the hem locations because there will be a lot of stress on the fabric. Sew all the way to the fold, but don't forget to reverse on top of that hidden hem as well, which we just did there. All the way to the edge and reverse at the edge as well. Now turn the fabric around and sew the opposite unsewn edge. Make sure you reverse the beginning and the end. And we're using that deluxe magnetic guide to keep our stitch uniformly the same distance away from the edge. Reverse at each one of the hems to be sure they're secured in place well. Here we are coming to the second hem. And we did run into the pin, so we had to pull this pin because it was too close to the edge of the fabric. Notice we're reversing there all the way to the fold, and we'll reverse there as well. Be sure to trim all trailing threads and pull out each one of the pins. We're done holding the fabric in place. Now we can simply turn the fabric right side out. This is a rather stiff polyester fabric. It's made for an outdoor application. I don't believe there's a simpler way to create an envelope throw pillow than what is shown here in this video. Because we're using a deep envelope closure system, 9 inches of excess fabric for the closure, it'll be more difficult to insert the pillow form. But because it's rather deep, it's usually not as gappy of an opening in the back of the pillow. Utilizing something smaller usually results in a fairly large gap, and in those situations a button or a closure is required on those envelope throw pillows. Doing it with a deep envelope like this, sure, it makes it harder to insert the pillow form, but typically it's less gappy in the back. Our envelope throw pillow cover is now complete. Now all we need to do is insert the pillow form. We've actually made this pillow insert from polyester fiber and also spun bonded pillow protector fabric that we purchased from Sailrite. There'll be a link to a video showing how we did that at the end of this video. Now we're inserting this pillow form inside of the envelope throw pillow. It's a little bit difficult to get in the pillow because our envelope is so deep, but as you can see, there's less gap in the opening. Because we made our own pillow form, we've stuffed a lot of polyester fiber fill inside the pillow form for a plumper look. I think it looks great that way. However, you don't have to follow that technique if you don't want to. You may want to pause the video here and study this materials list. To see how to make your own pillow form insert, click on the first video shown here. For more free videos like this, be sure to check out the Sailrite website or subscribe to the Sailrite YouTube channel today. It's your loyal patronage to Sailrite that makes these free videos possible. Thanks for your support.